celebrating big. Get up to $81,000 at just 0.8% interest with our anniversary loan. And because Christmas is in the air, we're spreading cheer with up to $60,000 at only 1%. Visit cathedralcutt.com or call 235-6947 today. Cathedral Credit Union. Member owned, member focused.
Bed and Breakfast Association supports increased international flights to Tobago. 3 in custody for Plymouth attempted ATM robbery, and Signal Hill Secondary wins the 2026 Tobago Youth Tourism Congress. Good evening, Tobago. I am Azoba Samuel. Thank you for tuning into the Channel 5 News for Friday, June 26, 2026. President of the Unique Bed and Breakfast Association, Kate Trotman, says the association supports the announcement by Chief Secretary Farley Augustine about increased flights to Tobago.
We are quite glad to see that attention is being given to new destination, new airline routes, and new source markets being opened up with the flights potentially to come from Toronto, Miami, and Guyana. These would open up new source markets that could be of benefit to the wide cross-section of the tourism sector, both in terms of large hotels benefiting, because that's where your American markets tend to go. They tend to look for all-inclusive type packages, and so they would gravitate more to the larger hotels. And coming from Canada as well as Guyana, you may find that those source market customers would like to experience different aspects of Tobago, so they may be looking for more village experiences and more authentic experiences that Tobago may have to offer.
Speaking at the post-budget news conference on June 22nd, Augustine said negotiations with the Caribbean Airlines have resulted in plans to introduce a Tobago-Toronto flight, opening the island to North American market. He also announced that additional routes are being considered, including flights connecting Tobago with Guyana and Miami. Augustine said the new air links are expected to strengthen Tobago's tourism sector by improving access for visitors from key markets to expanding regional connectivity. The Chief Secretary did not provide a start date for the new routes, but said the developments stem from discussions with the national airline. Tobago House of Assembly THA Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says companies have responded to the bidding process for the Sanctuary Villa Resort. Augustine made the announcement while contributing to the debate on 2026 to 2027 budget estimates. He said the responses from interested companies mark progress in the next phase of the resort's development.
We went out for some tenders recently, and I'm told that we have some desirable bids for Sanctuary, some requesting outright purchase, some requesting PPP arrangements. That's at the evaluation stage, and then we'll be informed by those doing the evaluation, the project managers at DIASPORA, what will be the recommended next step where Sanctuary is concerned.
He notes that the Tobago House of Assembly cannot build out the tourism sector alone in Tobago, and that there is a need for private investment.
Tobago's best positioning will be boutique hotels somewhere between 75 and 150 rooms. So we are not going out for necessarily massive hotels, but boutique hotels that respects our environmental footprint that can be built up. But it's not the theatre job to build hotels. We already saddled with the burden of Manta Lodge. That was a poor investment, a poor economic decision to purchase those 2 hotels.
The Sanctuary Villa Resort request for tender was released on March 23, 2026. According to the EIDCOT website, bidders had until May 1st to submit their bids. The PNM-led THA purchased the Sanctuary Villas in 2014 for $24 million. And the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, CBTT, has maintained the repo rate at 3.5%. The repo rate is the rate at which the central bank lends money to commercial banks, usually for short-term periods. In a statement issued on June 26th, the CBTT said its Monetary Policy Committee decided to keep the rate unchanged after considering current domestic economic conditions. The bank noted a moderation in economic activity, slower private sector credit expansion, and low inflation levels as key factors influencing the decision. The CBTT said it will continue to monitor both international and domestic developments and will take further actions if necessary. The decision means commercial banks will continue operating under the existing benchmark rate as central bank maintains its current monetary policy position. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles-Robinson is calling on the government to explain how it plans to finance the budget after its projected cost of a global price of a barrel of oil at over $100 per barrel is now close to $70. Beckles-Robinson made the call at the party's June 25th press conference at Balizea House, Port of Spain.
We know the several promises that this government has made. So they would have started, of course, off at the budget, the calculation then, and now in the midterm review, it's even worse. So we await the announcement by the Minister of Finance as to how they are going to deal with this shortfall.
She said the UNC-led government has made several promises that depends on the war price of oil, and the deficit would be greater because of the reduced price, as an agreement has been reached to stop the war.
So if based on that calculation, they had a deficit of 7 billion, and you now have a situation where they are way off from the calculation of the price of oil, we expect them to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago how they're going to finance, which is a clearly further deficit, having regard to all the promises that they have made.
Beckles-Robinson wants Prime Minister Kamla Bissessar to explain to come clean with the nation, manufacturers and the wider business community on how government expects to stabilize the economy without placing further tax burdens on citizens. More news after the break.
Credit Union.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dreams, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed. Run Credit Union, you can believe that you can achieve it. Today you can live that dream. Pull up to the job and surround your wheels with Run Credit Union. Yes you can, yes you can.
Come in and live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Welcome to the speed round of getting money right. Let's begin. Name some of the red flags associated with an investment scam.
Pressure tactics to invest.
Correct.
Promise of money if you bring friends.
Correct.
Request for personal information.
Correct. Bonus question. What is the penalty for operating a pyramid or Ponzi scheme.
$10 million and 10 years in prison.
Correct. Well done. The scores are even, so we go to our tiebreaker question. You receive money in your account from an investment company, and they tell you to transfer it to a third account. Does that sound right?
I think about it, and that not right.
Congratulations, you tinker! Getting Money Right is brought to you by the TTSEC. Visit investigateTT.com to access free learning resources and check the TTSEC for a list of registered individuals and securities. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits.
As you come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yes. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome back. 3 suspects are in police custody in connection with the attempted theft of an ATM from Supreme Plaza in Shelbourne Street, Plymouth. Senior Superintendent of Tobago Division, Rodale Kirk, confirmed that other suspects remain at large and said investigations are at a sensitive stage. The attempted robbery occurred during the early hours of June 24th at a First Citizens Bank ATM located on a Plymouth Main Road. Police said the suspects used a stolen backhoe to break into the building and remove the ATM. However, the operations failed after the backhoe stalled, preventing the suspects from loading the machine onto a stolen truck. The suspects fled from the scene empty-handed. Video footage circulating on social media shows the several individuals involved in the incident, including one person wearing a black cape who has since been referred to as online Batman. First Citizens Bank has since decommissioned the ATM from the location and advised the customers to use its other available machines. Police investigations are continuing. Political leader of the Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, Denise Soyafat-Angus, is calling on Tobago House of Assembly, THA, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, to develop a private sector job growth plan in response to a proposed future hiring freeze within the THA. Soyafat-Angus said the move could have an impact on employment opportunities in Tobago and urged the THA to outline measures to support job creation outside of the public sector. She argued that greater focus should be placed on strengthening private sector growth and creating sustainable employment opportunities for Tobagonians.
The idea is calling for a serious growth plan built on community enterprise, a reimagined tourism product focused on long-stay tourism opportunities, the blue economy, creative industries, and technology for export. That is where the increased salaries would be for workers. Retool them for these industries.
What is disappointing is that the people were not told the full truth before voting in the January 2026 House of Assembly elections. If the administration knew that recurrent expenditure was becoming unsustainable, Tobagonians deserve to have been told before and not after the elections, Soyafat Angus says.
I mean, we warned before the THA elections that Tobago was being led into an employment trap. Too many jobs were being placed inside of the THA and too little serious work being done to build industries outside of the government.
The IDA insists that Tobago cannot thrive under a system of state dependency, calling instead for strategic planning to ensure long-term stability. The IDA is demanding full transparency, urging the Chief Secretary to publish comprehensive manpower figures, and rather than enforcing austerity, the IDA also wants the government to transition workers into productive private sector jobs. Soyafat Angus pointed out following the job layoffs in Trinidad, the THA should have been aware of this trend towards job reduction. In his budget presentation at the 2026 budget debate in the Assembly, Augustine says over the last 4 years, over 3,146 new hires have been added to the THA payroll, and a hiring freeze may have to be considered in the future to combat the cost allocated to recurrent expenditure. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says the Tobago House of Assembly's Executive Council has approved a monthly financial grant for families with young children. The initiative, which will be managed by the Division of Health and Wellness, will provide an allowance of $500 per child every month for the first 5 years of the child's life. Augustine said the program is aimed at supporting families and improving access to resources during the early stages of the childhood development.
The Division of Health and Wellness already got the approval of Executive Council, and they are preparing to roll out the well-received covenant of $500 per child for the first 5 years of the child's life. And so that will be effective from January 1, 2026. So even if your child was 2026, so even if your child was born before the rollout of this policy, you will receive a little back pay for the months you did not receive.
Augustine told the Assembly that the THA is working with actuaries on the broader policy of the Trust Fund for Tobago Children under the age of 18 and what that will look like. Further details on the rollout of the initiative, including eligibility, requirements, and application procedures, are expected to be announced by the THA. The Trinidad and Tobago government is facing criticism from some members of the public who argue its response to the powerful earthquake in Venezuela should include humanitarian aid in addition to statements of solidarity. The response comes against the backdrop of strained relations between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela since the Kamla Prasad administration took office. The two governments have traded criticisms over issues including border security, migration, and regional diplomacy, while the United States has maintained criminal charges and sanctions against Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. In its latest media release, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs said there have been no reports of casualties or injuries involving Trinidad and Tobago nationals in Venezuela. The ministry said the chancery at the embassy in Caracas sustained superficial damage but is inaccessible because of road closure. Emergency consular channels have been activated to assist 4 Trinidad and Tobago nationals who were in Venezuela for a sporting event, with arrangements underway for their return home. The government also reiterated its solidarity with Venezuela, saying it stands ready to provide any requested assistance where possible, and that it continues to monitor developments through its diplomatic mission in Caracas. And the government's Senator and Minister Anil Roberts has accused the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LATT, of selective outrage following its statement expressing concerns over what it described as a perennial state of emergency and restrictions on the public's right to protest during the current state of emergency. In a Facebook post on his regular video commentary titled Doubles and Coffee, Roberts claimed the association had remained silent on several controversial issues under the former People's National Movement (PNM) administration, but had chosen to criticize the current government.
Law Association is, how did this become so important to you? Because you have stayed silent on critical issues which even involve you, lawyers and senior counsel and process and the parliament, the highest court in the land, and you've stayed silent. So how come all of a sudden you feel to give out a press release trying to say that this government is afraid of protest? First and foremost, you're disingenuous and dishonest and wicked.
Roberts defended Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, saying she listens to the public and engages with labor groups. He then accused the previous administration led by the People's National Movement of being, quote, oppressive and dictatorial, end quote. Roberts, a minister in the Housing Ministry, also cited several matters he said LATT failed to address, including allegations involving former Attorney General Faris Alwari and John Bates, issues surrounding the CARICOM Secretary General's contract renewal and the Brent Thomas kidnapping incident. LATT's statement had raised concerns about the prolonged use of state of emergency and their impact on Trinidad and Tobago's citizens' constitutional rights, including the freedom to protest. Stay with us. More news after the break.
Cathedral Credit Union is celebrating big. Get up to $81,000 at just 0.8% interest with our anniversary loan. And because Christmas is in the air, we're spreading cheer with up to $60,000 at only 1%. Visit cathedralcutt.com or call 235-6947 today. Cathedral Credit Union. Member-owned, member-focused.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Escape to elegance at Le Chateau Suites Tobago. Gated privacy, breathtaking villas, unforgettable memories, where Caribbean dreams become reality.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Welcome back. Chief Secretary Farley Augustin says the Tobago House of Assembly THA is providing support to entertainer Oscar B, who remains hospitalized following a stroke and heart attack. The 57-year-old artist is currently receiving medical care at the Sangre Grande Hospital. Augustine said the THA has stepped in to assist the veteran performer during his recovery, while a fundraiser is also being organized to support his needs.
And yes, unfortunately, he's not well, but I'm happy to announce that a proposal came asking for support, medical support for him through the Office of the Chief Secretary, and approval was given to provide support to Oscar B. and his family.
Veteran broadcaster Selwyn Melvin spoke on the Rise and Shine morning talk show about the upcoming healing concert at the Shawpacker Complex on Sunday, June 28th, to send love and greetings to the renowned entertainer.
Tobagonians are very kind and loving people, and they want to support the hero. So coming on Sunday, they'll come out there and donate at the door and on the phone and other areas that we have to have money collected. But what they're going to do really is to make sure that they are giving. We are a loving people. Look at harvest. When we get harvest here at Tobago, everybody does a loan and thing for treat. And most Trinidadians come here and say, boy, they can't believe. Do we have to pay for this food? No, that is love.
Oscar B. began singing professionally with the Signal Hill Alumni Choir in 1982 and hasn't looked back since. He was once the lead singer for a Jamaican-based group, Byron Lee and the Dragoneers, having joined the group in 1991. Melvin says to expect gospel, instrumental, soca and reggae performances of the highest standards for more than 40 artists lined up to perform. Melville also says that on the day of the concert, a medical team will be on site to conduct diabetes and pre-diabetes screening of patrons. Signal Hill Secondary School student Shania Phillip has been named the Junior Tourism Secretary of Tobago after winning the 2026 Tourism Youth Congress. The annual event, hosted by the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries, was held on June 27th at the Anne Mitchell Gift Auditorium at the Scarborough Library. Students from 8 of Tobago's 9 secondary schools participated in the competition, which provides younger people with an opportunity to discuss ideas and the policies shaping the future of tourism on the island. As winner, Phillips will represent Tobago at the 2026 Caribbean Tourism Organization CTO Regional Tourism Youth Congress, scheduled for Guyana in October 2026. Bishop's High School, the defending champions, placed second in this year's competition. The school won the regional competition in Barbados in October 2025. Speyside High School captured third place in the June 26th event in Tobago. The Tourism Youth Congress is aimed at encouraging youth involvement in tourism development and giving students a platform to share their vision for the Tobago tourism industry. Tobago House of Assembly THA budget estimates for 2026-2027 has been approved by Assembly Legislature, allowing the THA to formally request $4.1 billion in funding from the central government. The approval was announced by Presiding Officer Niall George following debate on the estimates on June 25th. The passage of the estimates clear the way for the THA to seek the proposed allocation to support its programs and operations for the upcoming fiscal period. The $4.15 billion request will now be moved to central government for consideration as a part of the national budget process.
The question put is, be it resolved that this House approve the draft estimates of revenue and expenditure respecting all functions of the Tobago House of Assembly for the financial year October 1st, 2026 to September 30th, 2027, copies of which were laid on the table at an earlier stage of proceedings. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Motion carried.
And the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Petalon Roberts, told the Assembly that the bill should go forward to represent what Tobago is asking for.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I'm happy to inform that the Finance Committee has met and it was successfully deliberated on, and we have essentially approved the draft estimates of expenditure for Recurrent and Development Program, as well as the CPEP program and the revenues of expenditure for fiscal 2027. For the fiscal year, October 1st, 2026 to 30th September 2027.
The Assembly was adjourned to a date to be fixed. According to a Finance Division's Facebook page, the Budget 2027 preparation process began in February with the issuance of a budget circular to THA divisions. THA says it conducted internal and external calculations between April 20th and June 2nd. According to law, the THA budget estimates must be sent to central government by the 30th of June, annually for consideration in the national budget, which is read later in the year. Now we take a look at the weather. Tonight, a tropical wave approaching area, mostly fair, but slightly hazy with a light breeze and the isolated shower. Tomorrow, instability associated with a tropical wave. Sunny, slightly hazy, and at times breezy, becoming partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with a few showers, some of which may get heavy and/or periods of rain from late morning. There is a low 30% chance of the odd isolated thunderstorm. Winds may gust in or near some showers and/or thunderstorms. Seas, moderate. Winds, northeast to southeast, 5 to 45 kilometers per hour. Waves in open waters 1.5 to 2 meters, and in sheltered areas near 1 meter, occasionally choppy. High tides at 1:29 a.m. and 3:10 p.m. Low tides at 8:35 a.m. and 8 p.m. Sunrise at 5:42 and sunset at 6:29. Tomorrow's temperature should reach a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius and fall to 24 degrees Celsius. Let's recap our headlines. Bed and Breakfast Association supports increased international flights to Tobago. 3 in custody for Plymouth attempted ATM robbery, and Signal Hill Secondary wins the 2026 Tobago Youth Tourism Congress. That does it for us tonight at the Channel 5 News Desk. I am Zoba Samuel saying have a good night and stay safe.